Another day, another heartbreak for Indian fans. You're watching Thunder Down Under. I am Sushant Mehta. Batting first, Australia made as many as 390 runs, powered by that unforgettable innings by Steve Smith. Another 62-ball 100. That man is really batting out of his mind, really batting like the best player in the world at the moment. And chasing that almost impossible target of 390, India managed 338 runs in 50 overs. But it just wasn't enough. India has now lost the one-day international series. Here's what happened.
It seemed like a script from the previous game with same protagonist. A 142-run stand for the first wicket between Warner and Finch laid a perfect platform for Australia before Steve Smith produced another masterclass. The former Aussie skipper belted the Indian bowlers at will and reached a century of just 62 deliveries to score his second successive ton of the series. Hardik finally bowled for the first time since September 2019, and it was him who ended Smith's brutality on Indian bowlers.
Third man in the right place though, to go from the head.
Manas Labuschagne wasn't to be left behind, helping himself to a 70, and Maxwell also joined the party to hit a 29-ball unbeaten 63 in his usual unorthodox style.
Mostly premeditated. Another good shot.
For the Indians, their stay on the field seemed like an eternity, and finally, when it did get over, they were looking at a target of 390 to stay alive in the series. India lost Dhawan and Agarwal early, but Virat Kohli got his touch back and kept his team in the hunt, even with a mountain to climb. The Indian captain added 93 runs with Shreyas Iyer and then found an able ally in KL Rahul. However, just 11 short of what would have been his first international century in over a year, Virat was caught brilliantly by Moises Henriques. KL Rahul and Hardik Pandya did keep the interest going, but in the end it turned out to be too big a task as India lost the 3-match series in the first 2 games itself.
So that
Sports Bureau, India Today.
another comprehensive victory.
So 2 high-scoring games, and we've lost both those games to Australia. The series is now gone. Lots to play for still in the last game of the one-day international series. Let me cut across to the magician with the ball, Harbhajan Singh. Harbhajan, now that we've lost the one-day international series, I have to ask you, we are just not getting wickets up front. We cannot afford to give away so many runs and not pick up a wicket, at least in the initial overs. And then, again, this is not a criticism of Virat Kohli, but our planning. The way that the bowlers were shuffled around, it wasn't ideal. Shami was bowling well, he was changed then. I know they did it to change the end, but the planning is just not there. Navdeep Saini coming in, he is just, I mean, he's getting hammered like a club bowler right now. So lots to think about for India, for the Indian team.
Smith is so good at picking the gaps.
Well, first of all, let me just clear, Navdeep Saini is not a club bowler. He's playing for India. He's definitely got the potential and he's got the pace and bounce and everything. Yes, things are not going right for him, which is understandable, for anyone. Things can go wrong. But coming to your point, yes, Virat could have managed the bowlers a little better. Maybe when Shami was bowling better, he could have stuck with Shami for a couple of overs more and see if there was an opportunity to create, with the tight set of field and, those sort of things he could have done. But, in the end, bowlers need to hunt and pack. And I think it's just not about bowling from one side is good enough, and the other side also someone need to bowl well. So I think Bumrah is also someone whom we known as a match winner, and he can produce those wickets early on. But unfortunately, he's not been able to pick those early wickets. So that's the reason Australia is getting that momentum from the beginning itself, and in the later part, someone like Maxwell. Today he just came and smacked those runs like peanuts. Obviously, it will hurt you if you will not take wickets with the new ball. New ball is a very, very important weapon, and you'll have to use that, especially in those Australian conditions. If you don't take wickets, you're gonna get hurt.
Definitely, Harbhajan. And before I go on to Virat and what he had to say about his innings, he played well today, 89 runs. Just on Bumrah, last time also you spoke about this, that Bumrah was maybe a tad bit too short. Today, what did you see from Bumrah, and what does he need to do now to be effective, especially up front with the new ball?
That is why Maxwell is so dangerous.
Well, I think swing is something which is lacking and missing. With the new ball, you got to rely on swing. If you can swing the ball, even for first 2 overs, 3 overs, you can create a lot of doubt in the batsman's mind. So that's what is something which Indian fast bowlers need to look at it. Because Australian conditions, we know it's hard conditions, difficult conditions to bowl. But for seamers, there is a lot to offer. There's a lot of bounce, a lot of carry from the surface. But someone who can swing the ball in the air, that's what exactly Bumrah or Shami or Navdeep Saini should look to do. And if they can swing the ball for first couple of overs and make the ball, make the new ball count, that's exactly will change the course of the game then. Because with the swinging ball, it's a difficult thing for any batsman to play. Yeah.
Right, so Harbhajan Singh, Virat Kohli pointing out how we did not bowl well, and I meant no disrespect to Navdeep Saini. I was just mentioning how Australia was so dominant against Navdeep Saini. Not only Navdeep Saini, against Yuzvendra Chahal, against Jasprit Bumrah, everybody was smashed. So now going into the third game, I know the series is gone, but this one is for respect. We have to carry that momentum into the T20 series by winning this last game. Changes as far as the bowling is concerned. Do you see any cause for alarm? People are now saying maybe we can switch Yuzvendra Chahal, give Kuldeep Yadav a chance, Natarajan in for Navdeep Saini. Do you agree with that?
Something a little bit different.
Yeah, well, why not? The series has been lost now, so this is kind of an opportunity to see if other guys can come in and do the job, and especially the left-hand seamer could be very effective in Australia. And I would like to see Kuldeep Yadav as well. Why not? Or if you want to stick with Yuzvendra Chahal, you might as well play with two wrist spinners, with Kuldeep Yadav and Yuzvendra Chahal, if you don't want to add another seamer, because spinner has been our strength from years now. And Kuldeep and Chahal, they both bowl really well in tandem. So I think that's something which Indian team should look at it and try and play two spinners together. And
so
if they can create a window and the opportunity for left-arm seamer, that would be also brilliant.
Yeah. So Kuldeep in place of Ravindra Jadeja? Would Kuldeep come in for you in place of Ravindra Jadeja and Natarajan in place of Saini?
Well, that could be a...
Go in with 6 batsmen? Because those 6 batsmen are enough,
yes, at the moment you're losing... I think you're losing games by not taking wickets at this stage. So you have to add another bowler who can pick your wickets. So who would you rely on? I would pick Kuldeep Yadav. So you pick Kuldeep Yadav and play still your 5 best bowlers with 2 spinners and maybe 3 fast bowlers. So stick by them, and maybe if Ravindra Jadeja has to sit out, then so be it.
Yeah, and as far as the batting is concerned, I know we didn't lose the game with the bat. I mean, 338 chasing, that's a huge total in itself. But coming back to the batting, I know Mayank Agarwal, still early days for him in the Indian side, but these 20s, 30s are not going to help. Would you start with a KL Rahul as an opener, get in Manish Pandey? Would that work for the batting?
Well, I think, Mayank is a quality player. We got to show faith in him. He's your test opener. He's going to play in Australia more than Manish Pandey. I think rather than changing the openers would not solve the problem. We need to stick with, of course, Mayank Agarwal there, and hoping that he will convert his 30 into 70s, or maybe his 70s into 100. Because in the end, he's not to forget, he's going to open the inning in the test matches as well. So if you'll drop him now, so that can affect his confidence going forward in the test matches as well. So I would not change his batting position, and let KL Rahul play at number 4, 5, wherever he's batting in the middle. I think all they need to do is just get a start where you don't lose a wicket for 80 for none, maybe 100 for none. And then you see the difference, while India chasing even 350, 360.
Yes, we got a glimpse of the old King Kohli, as we say. Steve Smith was really good, but so was Virat Kohli. Remember, he was chasing that huge total, and he is that chase master, the master of the chase, Virat Kohli. 89 runs today, shots all around the park, some huge sixes. classic cover drives, classic shots on the onside, classic sixes with King Kohli. But Harbhajan Singh, once more, again, do you think that captaincy is now burdening Virat a little bit more than it used to? He's not as free as he was earlier?
I don't see Virat Kohli, with any kind of a stress with the captainship. I think he enjoy those challenge, and he's a leader, who lead from the front, and he sets example for the team to do the needful for the team to, do the to win games. And
Right.
I don't think captainship is affecting Virat Kohli. It's obviously one guy cannot win you the game. So as I said, even after the World Cup, you got to have more people with Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, standing around and taking the team forward. It can't be just Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli taking the team forward and scoring most of the runs. It's good to see KL performing, but you need a couple of more guys consistently doing well for Team India. So the pressure from Virat Kohli can shift a little bit. So he can bat freely, he can do what he needs to do and enjoy the game a little bit more.
We discussed this in the last episode. I specifically asked you about Steve Smith, and you said, well, the best way to get him out is to get him out early. Unfortunately for us, another day, another 100 by Steve Smith. Again, the question remains the same. What does India need to do to get rid of Steve Smith?
That's a top edge. Does somebody want it? Nobody's there.
Well, I think I'll have to walk on the park, with my spikes and bowl a few balls for Team India again and get Steve Smith out. But that's not going to happen. But I think I would like to see Steve Smith bowling against batting against spinners, Yuzvendra Chahal or maybe Kuldeep Yadav coming in the side, and they both bowling in tandem and having 7-8 overs of spin when Steve Smith comes in, because he's someone who likes the pace on the bat, and if you take that away from him for some time, that might be the key point for him to get him out.
Now, you've mentioned Yuzvendra Chahal, and on all our episodes, we've been discussing Yuzvendra Chahal. He had a fantastic IPL, but suddenly, he's being smashed all around the park. I mean, Steve Smith has taken him on, Aaron Finch, David Warner, everyone's been scoring off him. So what's going wrong with Yuzvendra Chahal? Being a spinner yourself, what advice would you give Chahal right now?
See, I don't see anything going wrong with him. It's the conditions. It's purely the different conditions, what they get in Australia and what they were getting in UAE. UAE conditions were obviously very conducive to spin bowling and slower kind of for bowlers. And whereas in Australia, it's always been a very, very hard place for spinners to bowl. And I don't see him doing anything wrong. It's just that the Australian team, they know their conditions, as Virat said. They know their wickets better than the others. And I think they are taking him on and they're taking those chances against him. And it's coming off. All I can advise him to just continue to work hard on his game and bowl little slower in the air if he can. And you might get to, see some turn from the wicket. But that will only happen if you bowl little slower in the air.
I spoke about the captaincy and the planning, and again, not to criticize India, but again, Hardik Pandya out of nowhere comes and bowls after Mayank Agarwal. Virat Kohli says, well, it was an on-ground call. I asked him on either he can bowl or he can't bowl. If he can bowl, then he must be bowling. He should have been bowling much earlier on in the game. When he comes on, bowls those slow off-cutters, even gets Steve Smith out. Should have had another wicket, but Ravindra Jadeja dropped the catch. So, I mean, this is awful planning on India's part. We have no clarity on Hardik Pandya.
Well, I can't understand this, to be honest. If your sixth bowler is Hardik Pandya and suddenly you are asking him in the ground, he should be bowling in the nets to understand, where his fitness is and whether he can deliver those 4-5 overs for Team India. Yes, it's good of him to actually, raise his hand and say, okay, I'll do the job for the Team India. But at the moment, what I know, his back is still not okay, and he's not, pushing his limits. What we have seen, he can easily bowl at 140, 135. But he was just rolling his arm and getting the ball delivered there on that surface. But I think that's something team management need to look at it, and you got to make plans. You cannot have plans just on the ground and saying, hey, can you bowl 2 overs for me? Hey, can you bowl 1 over for me? You have to have sure people and say, okay, look, this is my 5th bowler and this is my 6th bowler. It's nice of Hardik Pandya, even with his back injury, he raised his hand and say, okay, let me do the job for Team India. But I think management could do better than what they've been doing at this stage.
Absolutely, the management can do much better. Now, in the last 2 matches, Aaron Finch has made a century, Steve Smith has made back-to-back centuries, Maxwell has accelerated at the end of the game, but one man has been overshadowed and he has been key to Australia's success. That man is David Warner. 83 runs today of 77 balls, and mind you, he was run out today. He was well on course for that century. He has been outstanding through the IPL and now he's carried that form into the one-day international series. But unfortunately for Australia, David Warner was injured. He had to leave the field. So I hate to say this, but it is going to be some sort of advantage for India, Harbhajan Singh, if David Warner cannot play, because he is lethal.
In case you have to go in and field, good stuff for the Australian. But this is
Yes, most definitely. He's very, very lethal, and he's in that form. He's scoring a lot of runs, and he's always been a very, very good player for Australia. And yes, Australia will miss his services on the field. Yes, that will give some sort of edge or breather to Team India, and hopefully they can get the momentum from there, and that could be a window of opportunity for India to start doing better on this tour. And obviously once you start winning, your confidence goes high. So it's very important. The last game, India should finish on a right note. T20 starts. And obviously, if you win T20 as well, and then you see the confidence getting into the test matches as well. So every game from here onwards will be very, very important, not just for the team's sake, but as individuals as well.
And Harbhajan Singh, I have to ask you this. 2018 you mentioned, and we were all hoping for a repeat performance by India. Like, we lost the first one-day international, then we won the series. We were hoping that, history will repeat itself. But this time around, do you think, especially these comments like the one-day internationals are irrelevant, coming from the coach, from the captain Virat himself, sort of saying that, oh, one-day internationals are irrelevant. I mean, these are silly remarks to make, and you're seeing the performance right now, battling with a team like Australia, which has always been on the top of their game, so consistent. We need to take one-day international cricket seriously.
Another comprehensive victory for Australia. They have won.
Well, India is playing one-day international cricket, so it's a serious cricket anyways. I don't know, if you're talking about Team India is not playing it seriously or who are not taking it seriously.
We are playing it seriously, but I think the message that was delivered earlier.
Talking about Test cricket.
Yeah.
Was given, had no hesitation.
When we called
So
ourselves,
what
we
was
said
the
that
message
one day is our...
that the only will take Test cricket.
In the mix.
That Test cricket we will take it seriously, but one-day cricket we won't. So that shouldn't be the case, because one-day cricket is also as important as Test cricket. So one-day cricket will give you that sort of confidence leading into the Test matches. So it would have been very, very ideal to win this one-day series and getting into the Test match without Virat Kohli, without Rohit Sharma. Things will be very, very difficult in Australia. I mean, it's going to be a big, big challenge, and let's see. Challenge bring opportunities, and there has to be other people also doing the job then Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma. They've been carrying the load for many years. I think we need more people around them to do well, to win games. Yes, we know Cheteshwar Pujara was very, very important player, and he won the series last time when Team India was there in Australia. But you need more people around Cheteshwar Pujara, since Virat Kohli is not going to be there and Rohit is not there, to do the job for the Team India. If you don't put runs on the board in Test cricket, it's going to be very, very difficult Test series then.
Well, let's hope that India can turn around. Thank you, Harbhajan Singh, for joining us.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.